Hey guys, it's me. I decided to build the mini album live so I could chat with some people if anybody, I didn't announce it, so I don't know if anybody will be here, but I am going to make a mini album first. Excuse me, my allergies are driving me nuts. And I'm going to use the cactus paper. I'm going to use this paper pad. It's backwards. Why is everything backwards? That just doesn't make any sense to it. Okay, whatever. Is it backwards for you guys? Like the wording is backwards. I don't know if that's going to affect the way you are watching the video on how to do the tutorial or not. But okay. So I think I got more requests for a mini album. So I just have some black cardstock, my cutter, my scoreboard, and my trusty thingamabobber here. And I'm just going to create the pages first. I just create the pages first, and then I create the covers and the spine because I don't know what kind of binding I'll need, or I don't even know what size. Somebody said 8, like an 8.5. So we'll try that. Can you guys hear me? Excuse me. This paper is just from Michael's. It's not like too thick. I did buy some black paper pack from, I think this is Joann's, Park Lane. I think that might be with Joann's. Yes, great. Thank you guys. But it's really thick. And so I think it'll crack a lot if I use it for my pages. So I'm not going to be using it for the pages, but it is really thick cardstock, which I'm happy to see at a craft store. It seems like they were getting thinner and thinner. So I'm going to make it 8. I'll make it 8 inches wide. So I'm just going to cut a 1/2 inch off. Hi, Diane. Yes, I'll be leaving this video up. And then this way you can actually see me do all the pages. Normally in my tutorials, I only do 1 page. So I think I'm going to do an 8x7. What do you think of that? So I'm going to cut 6 more of these. We're making a mini album. This one's thinner. I'm going to grab the wrong paper. So I'm just going to cut these all at 8x7. And that'll be the base page. Did everybody have a good 4th? I worked. Which is cool because I get today off. So this will be the first time. I started a new job May 6th. I got back into transportation. I got out of the insurance industry. It was not my cup of tea. The environment at my company, it wasn't like people were mean or anything. It was just, it's a different cup of tea, I guess. And I guess it depends on which area you work in. There were some areas that were more fun than others, I guess you could say. And it was boring. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's make 6 pages. It was just basically data entry is all it was, and I'm not about that life. IBL, all I'm doing is cutting the pages down to 8x7. I'm cutting 6 pages 8x7. Probably take an allergy pill, but they make me so tired. I don't want to sleep. So now we get to figure out what we want to do. We want pockets or what have you, flaps. If I had 12x12 paper, you could cut it longer and you wouldn't need to like score and make a flap, but I think I'll use these for flaps. So now I'm going to get my scoreboard out. And this is just the Martha Stewart one. And I use a bone folder. I don't use that little thing that was in there because for me it kept on cutting the paper. The one that it came with. So I have these 6 scraps left over from cutting the page down to 7 inches. Yeah. Maybe I should write down 8 by 7. That way I don't forget because I forget all the time. So now I'm going to take the scrap. It's 4 by 8 and I'm going to stick it into the 4-inch side is at the top and I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch so that we can use this as a flap for the front of our pages. And if I was smart, I'd have just cut it down to 8 and then folded it. That would be the smart thing to do. Just cut a 1/2 inch off of this and then you'll score it at 7 inches and that'll create the flap. I agree, the bone fold was flimsy. But because I didn't know what I was doing at first, I cut them down to the size of the page. But all you do is cut 1/2 inch. I'll show you. Lord. So take the 8.5 by 11 sheet, cut it down to 8 inches. Stick it in your scoreboard. So 11 inches at the top, and then score at 7 inches. And then you can fold it. And that will create the same thing that we're creating now with the scraps. Actually, it'll be a little bit longer because we're doing this 1/2 inch. See, if you get lazy, you just do a live video because then you don't have to edit anything. I took, when I was in school, I used to take my laptop, like when I went to go visit my dad, so I could do my homework. And the little USB plug-in for the mouse got jammed up inside the computer. And so I pulled it out and now the mouse doesn't work. So now I have to get a new mouse and I have to use the little mouse board on the laptop itself and it drives me nuts. So the least amount of time I can use the mouse, the better. So I'm going to get score tape to glue these on. So I want them on the front. Yeah. So I'm just going to apply adhesive on the flap, this little 1/2 inch flap here that I created. On all 6 pieces. Cat hair. I can't believe I slept through all the fireworks last night. I think I went to bed at 9. That's pretty sad. Remember the days, when my kids were little, we'd go find a spot downtown or wherever the fireworks were at, grill out, sit and wait for the fireworks, fight the traffic to get back home, come home, light more fireworks off for the kids. It's a long night. Now that they're older, I think they both had to work yesterday. So now I'm just cutting the corners off so that it's easier to mat. You don't see the flaps after you mat the page with the decorative paper. Oops, forgot one. So I had 5 more classes of school and I switched jobs and my old job was paying for the school. So I stopped going to school and I don't think my new employer pays for school. So if I want to finish, I have to save up money for each class. The left side of this page is going to be where I bind, and the right side is where I'm going to put this page. And I'm folding over the flap so that the sticky side is down, and I'm going to line up this folded edge with the cut edge of the page. And if you just folded the paper like this, you don't have to do that. So like I said, I didn't know what I was going to do at first. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm lining up the top here so it's not crooked, and then lining it up as best as I can, and then I'm going to burnish it down just to make sure that that tape sticks. Hi, Lynn. Thank you. I always think it's weird when I watch videos back that are live and people are talking and you have no idea what they're talking about. Makes you feel like you missed out on something. I don't know if our air conditioner has stopped running. It's been in the 90s here already. And it drives me nuts when I'm down here because it's so cold, because the air conditioner is starts downstairs, so, and it's right next to my room. So this room is the coldest, which is why I have my pink robe on. I need to buy another one. It's starting to get old. It's like, it's got frays everywhere, but it is warm. All right, so we have a flap, and should we put a pocket here? I don't know if the flap, maybe on the back. Normally, like, I sketch out albums, or I'll sit here and play with the pages by myself before I like start to make the album. So this is the process that I don't usually show. So now you get to see what my brain thinks. And this Dr. Pepper, it's the dark berry. It's a limited edition one. It's really good if you like Dr. Pepper. But it's not everywhere. It was at Meijer. Now they don't have it. Kroger never had it, and Walmart has it now. Just in case you're wondering. All right. So now, and this could be a simple, or it could be. The problem with making the page 8 inches wide and using 8.5 by 11 paper is that you're not going to be able to do a pocket without using the paper horizontally. So you'll kind of waste more paper, but it's all cool. I wonder. I'm going to cut the 8.5 by 11 down to 9 inches because that will give me an area to score 1/2 inch on each side to create the pocket. And I think I'm going to do like the double pocket, one taller than the other. All right, so now I'm going to cut this in half. So I'm going to do 4 1/4. So this is 4 1/4 by 9. I'm going to stick it in on the 9-inch side. I'm going to score it 1/2 inch on each side. So 1/2 inch and 8.5. And on this one, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to rotate it and score 1/2 inch on the bottom on the 4 1/4 side. And this will be the bottom pocket. I'm just folding on my score marks now. This is going to create 2 pockets. And you know what I did? I cut the pockets to go this way. That's not going to work though, because when you flip the page, stuff's going to fall out. So I'm going to try it because I already cut it. So I'm cutting out a little, it's not really a triangle, but I'm cutting at an angle on both of these sides so that when I fold it, it doesn't create bulk. Same thing applies when you're sewing and you're trying to create a corner when you're sewing. Now I'm going to add the score tape to the folded edges. On both of these. Remember, the left side on this side is where the binding is going to go. So when you flip it over, the binding's on this side. So you really don't want any openings going that way. So you want your folded edge to go there. And if you want your pockets to be able to be stuffed right, you want to put this one on top of that one. So I'm just going to lay it down and see where it goes. So I at least I'm using a black pen so I can't see it if I mess up. So I'm just marking where that went so that when I put this piece on, I at least cover it up just a little bit. So now, excuse me, just making sure it's straight. There we go. And now I will take, hey Brenda, thank you. Take this pocket, taking all the tape. I put the bottom down first and then fold the sides up. I don't know if that's the best way to do it. You should probably do the sides and then the bottom on top of that. That way when you're stuffing the pocket, nothing gets stuck on this little lip here. So now I'm going to take that and put it on the pocket. This part right here, this little flap, you're going to have to cut so that it doesn't obstruct the page from going down. I just cut a V in that. So now the card will go in there all the way to the sides, and it goes all the way down in the back. So, you know, I have to think about binding, like, because I don't have a pocket here. Normally, I do the hidden hinge binding where you stick the hinge into the binding. So, because I don't have a pocket on the front of this, I think I'm going to use Laura Dennison's pocket. I don't know, it's like Stack the Deck, and then I think she just came out with another one. But to be honest with you, I haven't. I've watched some. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll have to go back and watch one of her videos because I don't remember how to do the stack the deck. I know it's 3 pieces and you score different ways, but I'll have to watch it just to get the measurements. So then this will be the front way. I almost think like there needs to be something else on the front. Oh, thank you, Lynn. So basically, you can make a whole layout on the front of here and then on the 2 tags that go into the back. I have to think about this page. So I'm going to go ahead and finish these. So I'm just going to cut it down to 9 and then cut it in half. Now I'm cutting these down to 4 1/4. The little bitty pieces I throw away. But like when I was making the actual base page, I used those to create the flaps, which I didn't have to end up cutting anyway. Sometimes I use, if they're big enough, I'll use them to back stickers or to make little cards or to mat something with. But the little tiny scraps I throw away. Hello, Trudy. All right, so those are all cut. Now I'm going to score everything. I'm only scoring 5 on the bottom. But all of them will get scored at 1/2 inch on each of the short sides. I've tried to think of what else happened since the last time I did a video. I mean, I started a new job. My husband got a new job. Well, my husband went back to his old job. And I think that's about it. Whoops. I just didn't have any, like, I don't know. Like, I just didn't want to be in my craft room at all. Like, ever since my mom passed away, like, and she wasn't down here because she couldn't, like, walk down the stairs. I mean, she came down here a couple times, but when I would do live videos, she would be upstairs watching it on her tablet, commenting or laughing at me or something. So she wasn't, like, down here. But I don't know. I lost my mojo for a while for albums and stuff. Now I am just going to fold. No, Lynn. I had 5 classes left when I quit my old job. They were paying for it, so I still have 5 classes left to graduate, which I was kind of looking for a new job, but I wasn't. I mean, if something perfect came up, then I would explore it. But I mean, the old job was a mile and a half from my house, even though it paid less than what I was used to. I mean, they were paying for my school, so that kind of made up for it. But then when this job came up, it sounded kind of exciting. It's been hell, but you know how like when you can be around people that are calm and let you go, then that's kind of the attitude you have. But then you got that one person who's like a spaz and they yell and freak out all the time. And then you can kind of start to freak out and you get anxiety. But I work with a dude like that. He just freaks out all the time. And then it makes me freak out. I don't like freaking out. Oh, I don't need to cut those yet. I still need to score. I don't know why I'm yawning. I got enough sleep. So I'm just scoring. Oh, no, I'm folding where I scored. It's sad too because I had a 3.9 GPA, and it's like I don't want to leave school undone. I want to do those 5 classes, but the school that I was going to, it's like $1,500 a class, and because I was doing the accelerated, it's 1 class every 5 weeks. And I'm not getting I don't want a loan type of thing. Like, we're not loan people. I mean, we have a loan for our house, but I don't want to get a student loan or anything, so I would have to save money. I was thinking about switching over to, because I was going to a private school, so I was thinking about switching over, going to like Ivy Tech or whatever, so it's cheaper. I think it's like $400 a class instead of $1,500, and it's still accredited. So, but I don't know if their classes are accelerated, meaning that I'd have to go like 8 or 9 weeks per class, so it would take longer. And I think that's why this other school was more expensive, because it was supposed to be geared towards adults, but it ended up leaving you hardly any time doing schoolwork every day. I mean, you had to read the whole textbook in 5 weeks. So it's a lot of work. I'm proud that I did it and I want to finish it. So, oh, my nail is like literally peeling. It's not cool. That's why I always get acrylic, because I don't have, like, my nails peel right off. I don't know, it's always been like that. I've never been able to grow nails. So I work with a girl that has a 14-year-old daughter. So I figured with the paper, with not the cactus paper, but the other one, I figured I'd make a little folio and give it to her, because I still have pretty much every album that I've ever made in a box, getting smashed, not doing anything with it. And my husband's like, you should sell them. And I'm like, yeah. Then you got to list them. And then I did some giveaways, and I gave some albums and stuff away. And then there was one person, I can't even remember who it was. I mailed it, got it back, tried to mail it again. I don't know if I wrote their address wrong, and then I went back through my messages and I couldn't find it. So then I feel bad, because it's like, they win something and then they never get it. That's not cool. Again, I'm just cutting the corner out of the pocket that I scored on 2 sides. Well, actually, technically 3 sides, but you know what I mean. No, no, no. right, this is the last one. I'm having a brain fart. Okay. Where did my... My boys, I don't know. Chris is the oldest one. He's 23. He's the one that went to school for industrial technology, and he got all his welding certs. And he was working at a factory that makes auto parts, and it was assembly line type of stuff. And he decided that that's not what he wanted to do. He wanted to weld to like fix things or build big machines. So then he went and worked for some place that makes those steamer ovens for like restaurants and stuff. A little mom and pop place here in town. And I don't think they went out of business, but I guess they didn't get the orders they wanted. So he was only going in like 2 hours a day. So he decided as a temporary thing, because he just needed a job while he was trying to find another job, he would go to Meijer and stock shelves at night. And he ends up only making, or like bringing home $30 less than when he was at the factory. And he doesn't have to drive as far. And he likes the people he works with. And for me, it's not all about going to get a college education and making $80,000 a year and being some president of some company. He's got to be happy when he's there, and he's got to like who he works with. And as long as he likes, and as long as he works, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care what he does. We told him that they could stay here as long as they worked and saved money. We're not gonna let him stay here forever, that's for sure. But so he's working at Meijer stocking shelves on third shift, and he says that he'll find a new job, or he wants, but I don't think that he's looked. But as long as he's working, somebody's got to do it, Because if I go to the grocery store and they don't have my Dr. Pepper, I'm going to be mad. So he's got to do it. So that's what he's doing. And then Blake is the 19-year-old. He is still working at Taco Bell, and he's a manager. And he's actually at a different store right now training to become, I guess, like a store manager or something like that. So I guess they want him to take over his own store. He keeps on talking about moving out. But he works 4 days a week. But he works 10-hour days. He got a speeding ticket. I agree, Diane. The trades are dying, and they're talking about that all the time, how people are always going to get a 4-year degree. And then, I mean, if you think about people who have degrees, are they really doing the job that they went to school for? Like, my husband's a teacher. He's a PE teacher, history, and he's dispatching. I mean, so a lot of people have degrees and they're not even working in their field. A lot of companies required you to have a degree just to even do the job, which is like my old job said that they didn't hire anybody without a degree. And me and one other person were the only ones that they hired without degrees, which didn't make any sense to me. But I had 20 years of work experience. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That whole thing gets me. And especially when I've seen some people with degrees just sit there and all they do is text on their phone all day and not work. That degree really did some good. It does mean a lot. Like, I so far I like what I've only been, like, the company that I went to, they're an existing company, but they just opened a terminal in Fort Wayne. So it's not like it's a brand new company or anything like that. But did I just do these pockets wrong? Why didn't you guys tell me? Hot dog, I did. This is what happens. This is Undo. It's kind of stinky stuff, but it takes off the adhesive off of stuff. And then once it dries, it becomes adhesive again. So you just put a little drop in this little thing here and then rub it on the adhesive. And then so you don't have to rip your creation up. You can get it at Michael's. And it's safe for photos. I've used it for photos. Like, you know, those old time photo albums that have, I don't know, those plastic pages and the photos stick to them. It even takes the photos off of that sticky stuff after like 50 years without ruining the photo. So I am just going to peel that up a little bit and put this down. And I've got to cut. I should measure these and put these together before I put them on the page. That way I don't have to do the cutting weird. But that's just me, you know. I always have to do stuff the hard way. So first video back, kind of a bust. I'll make another video of just doing the page. How about that? I'll do it right this time. So yeah, trades are not everything. I don't know. I felt like I wanted a degree for my personal wealth. You know what I mean? Like to make myself feel better about myself. And it wasn't like somebody was telling me I had to go get one. Wow. The field that I'm in now, I mean, transportation. Yeah. Whoa, I just spilled that all over the place. Have a degree, have not a degree. I mean, like half the people that they hired, I think only me and one other person had transportation experience. The other people are just like, they've had dispatch, but not like transportation dispatch, and it's two different things. I mean, you can tell a truck to go install cable or whatever, or dispatch a truck to go fix somebody's air conditioning, but transportation is completely different. The environment is completely different. It's laid back, stressful. It's a big difference than so yes, I'm back where I'm happy. You're always gonna have, it doesn't matter where you go, you're gonna have a couple people that you don't get along with because not everybody's the same, you know. I could kind of tell from day one who I would get along with and who I wouldn't, and it's pretty much that way. All right, we fixed my mistake. Did I put that there? I always tell my husband, if I could win the lottery, I would open up a store, like a craft store, but not just about it. Like, wouldn't have all craft related stuff, but like paper crafting stuff and stationery, because you know I'm a pen whore. So, but then it would be like a big store, and it would have like a daycare center in the middle, and then maybe on the other side it would have like a sports bar, so the men could go watch their games. There would be somebody to babysit the kids while the women scrapbooked or crafted or whatever, and the kids would be taken care of. And then when the game was over, they could all go home as a family. Very strange idea, I know, but my husband, as you've heard in some videos, is a big sports nut, so it gets pretty loud in the house, and he won't drive to go watch a game because, you know, he's going to drink. So I would have to drop him off anyway, right? Or take an Uber. But those stories, some people getting kidnapped from Uber, I don't know, man. guess there's good and bad in every business and everybody. That... See, I think so too, Brenda. Because you know, a lot of ladies that I talk to are like, oh, I can't go. Like, you know, if you go to the scrapbook at the church or whatever, I can't go. I don't have a babysitter or something like that. Then they would be able to. They would be able to go too. Single parents, you know, they could go. Okay. I mean, is there any like store anymore that's still open? Like Archivers used to have classes and stuff that you could go to, or you could use their classroom for free during the day. Hey, I didn't say I was going to be babysitting the kids. Somebody else is. That I would hire somebody to do that. My kids are too old. And that's so funny because I have some friends that have like 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds. Some 40-year-olds are just having babies. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I got my shit done. That's what happens when you marry an older man. I mean, he's not old, but he's 11 years older than me. All right, here we go. Yeah, it would be, but like, you have that friend who's really good in math to do your books for you. And then you would just, I mean, how cool would it be just to scrapbook all day or to craft all day and teach people stuff all day? I think that would be cool. Yeah, there's no, I even remember going to a class years ago, a stamping class. And actually the lady sold Close to My Heart. That was the first time I ever heard of Close to My Heart. She had done a class at Hobby Lobby, and which I thought was weird because Hobby Lobby sells stamps. Why are they letting somebody come in that sells something? So I don't even know if they rent out their rooms. I know that Michael's has classes on like sewing and stuff like that, but I don't know. I did long time ago apply at Michael's when they first opened up by my house to do classes, but they insisted that I be available during the day to do classes during the day. And I'm like, I get that. You know, some people are, kids are at school during the day and it's better for them to go or whatever, but I'm only going to take a vacation day to go teach a class. I don't know. So this undo is still not dry because this tape is not sticking. So I'm going to leave that there until it dries. All right, so we have that done. I still don't know what to do with this side. Nothing? What do you think? I don't know. All right, so here's 6 pages done in 43 minutes. And it would have been faster if I went to Fudged Up a couple times. And I will make a quick video on just how to make the pages without all my blabbering. It'll be like probably 5 minutes long. And I'll do it the way without cutting this. So there'll be one last step. And I will cut these correctly. So if anybody's confused by this, I will post a video after this one with just the pages. I'm still not sure what I want to do with this. Maybe just leave it. What do you think? Any votes? I'm probably just going to leave it because then you can put more pictures on there and decorate a little bit. I always like these for the journaling. You can journal on, put stickers, stuff like that on. And I have to research. I think I'm gonna use the Stack the Deck binding So check out Following the Paper Trails tutorial on that. And I will post this video. I like flaps. Sometimes I get carried away with my flaps. And if I think of something else to add to there, I'll add it to that other video. And if you want me to do a video on how I bind this, then let me know. But I do have different videos on how I made the covers and stuff like that. It's the same process for every cover. It's just that you're going to change the measurements based on the pages that you have. There we go. I did order, I was trying to do videos sooner. I did order from A Cherry on Top May 29th, and I still have yet to get my order. I ordered 4th of July paper and Alice in Wonderland, I think, paper, and I still don't have it. So that's kind of depressing because I wanted to do an album for the 4th of July on the 4th of July type of thing. You know what I mean? But so I'll still be getting that paper, and I'll still do a 4th of July album, obviously. Yeah, that's it. So I will post a video next on how I just made the page flap if you don't want to watch this 46-minute video. And have a nice day, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.